Welcome to the Explainer.
So, what happens when two of the biggest forces in business today just collide? I'm talking about two absolute megatrends, the explosion of artificial intelligence on one hand, and on the other, this massive growing demand for corporate responsibility, what we call ESG.
Okay, so let's get on the same page. What are we actually talking about here?
You've probably heard the term ESG thrown around. It stands for environmental, social, and governance. And really, it's a framework for how investors and, well, all of us can measure a company's conscience. We're talking about its real-world impact, on the planet, on its people, and the quality of its leadership. It's about looking way beyond just the financial numbers.
But here's the thing. For a long time, ESG reporting has been, well, a mess. It's been slow, super manual, and honestly, kind of unreliable. You're trying to pull together all this complex data, and it's just a huge headache. And that, right there, is where AI steps in to completely change the game. Right, so think of AI as this sustainability super tool. It's showing up to solve these huge ESG challenges, and it's turning what used to be a boring reporting task into a real strategic advantage for companies. Okay, check out this number, 54 million tons. That is powerful. This shows how just one strategic shift, something as simple as embracing hybrid work, could slash annual greenhouse gas emissions by 54 million tons in the US alone, all from just cutting down on our daily commutes. I mean, that is a massive, massive impact from one change.
And it goes way beyond just the commute. We're seeing AI being used to do some incredible things, like optimizing energy grids in real time or making supply chains way more efficient by predicting demand so you don't have all this waste. It's even helping companies keep up with all these complex environmental rules. The bottom line is, it's all about making our system smarter and a whole lot more sustainable.
Here's what's really fascinating. The research shows that you can't just buy some AI software and expect a miracle. It's not a magic bullet. Real success actually comes down to the human side of things. Get this, the single biggest key to success is training your people. After that, it's about investing in the right tech and, crucially, having really solid rules for how you manage all that data.
So all of this creates a totally new reality, right? This world of data-driven sustainability. It demands new kinds of leaders and a complete rethink of what a company's role in the world even is.
And to lead the charge, we're seeing a brand new role pop up in the C-suite, the Chief Sustainability Officer, or CSO. And listen, this is not some minor token position. The CSO's job is to make sure sustainability is baked into the very core of the business, woven right into the corporate strategy, not just some flimsy add-on for a press release.
These new leaders are using some pretty cool new frameworks to guide them, and one of the most important ones is called double materiality. Basically, it's a four-step process. First, they identify all their potential impacts, risks, and opportunities. Then, they figure out how serious and likely each one is. Next, they decide which issues are material, meaning important enough that they have to be reported. And finally, they actually build those findings into their main business strategy.
And this idea, double materiality, it just brilliantly illustrates this huge shift in thinking. It's a two-way street now. It means companies don't just have to report on the outside-in view, how things like climate change might hurt their profits. They also have to report on the inside-out view, how their own actions are actually affecting the world around them, both people and the planet.
Okay, but here's the twist in the story. While AI is this amazing tool for managing ESG, AI itself creates a whole new set of ESG challenges. So the tool itself needs to be governed, just as much as the problems it's supposed to be solving. Kinda ironic, right?
Just look at this. A recent study of 28 top companies found a massive transparency gap when it comes to their responsible AI policies. A staggering 60% have no formal policy whatsoever. And what's even crazier, of the 40% that do have one, only a quarter of them, that's just 10% of the total group, actually make those policies public, so nobody can even check them.
So this all leads to a really critical question, doesn't it? As AI gets more and more powerful, what's the roadmap? How can leaders make sure the AI they're using is actually fair, transparent, and accountable?
Well, one answer is to use a structured framework. Something like this one here. It lays out 5 fundamental pillars for making smart, strategic decisions about AI. It's really a way to go from just, scattered experiments here and there to a real, intentional, company-wide strategy.
And this framework really pushes for a holistic approach. It's not just about the technology. It starts with the people at the top, the leaders, actually understanding the data. Then it's about setting up clear, ethical rules, learning how to blend AI's power with human intuition, demanding that these black box systems can actually explain themselves, and finally, having a super solid plan for managing the risks.
All right, so let's zoom back out to the big picture. Integrating AI and ESG, this is so much more than just a technical project. It's a fundamental shift in business strategy. It's about changing a company's entire identity.
And you know what's really interesting? It seems like having a strong ESG foundation acts as a kind of training ground. The research suggests that companies who are already good at managing their environmental and social footprint, well, they're just better prepared to be responsible innovators when it comes to AI. It's like one skill builds on the other.
As one source we looked at put it so perfectly, when you're talking about the huge challenges of sustainability, there's just no middle ground anymore. You can't sit on the fence. A company's actions or its inaction are what define whether it's part of the solution or part of the problem.
And that leaves us with a big final question, a really critical one. Are we going to use these two powerful forces, AI and ESG, together to build a truly more responsible future? Or will they become competing priorities, where the complexity of managing AI distracts us from the urgent goals of sustainability? You know, the outcome here is not guaranteed at all. The choice, really, is ours to make. Thanks for watching.